Our safety talk today is about a 32-year-old carpenter foreman who was killed when the roof truss system he and his crew were installing collapsed. The truss manufacturer arranged for delivery of the trusses on a trailer pulled by a truck-mounted crane. The truck operator provided the foreman with the delivery packet containing the guide to handling, installing, restraining, and bracing trusses. After each truss was lifted by the crane and set in place on the structure, the crew nailed temporary lateral restraints on the top cords but not diagonal bracing as instructed on the guide. After the 13th truss was on the structure and disconnected from the rigging, the system collapsed. 2 crew members fell off the top plates and the worker on the floor was struck by a truss and sustained a concussion. The supervisor fell to the floor and was fatally struck by a falling truss. So here are some ways we can prevent something like this from happening where we work. Conduct pre-job assessments so we can plan each stage to reduce potential injuries and comply with manufacturers' recommendations. Review and follow practices for adequate bracing and restraints for truss installation. The Guide to Good Practice for Handling, Installing, Restraining, and Bracing of Metal Plate Connected Wood Trusses, developed by the Structural Building Components Association, shows where we can locate temporary lateral restraints and diagonal bracing. Eliminate or minimize fall hazards by assembling sections on the ground and using bracket scaffolds. Fall protection, safe practices for setting and bracing wood trusses and rafters, an Oregon OHSU publication, provides examples. Lastly, train workers on safe practices of their tasks. Here are some questions that might generate prevention ideas. After each question, press the pause button for discussion. Are there any circumstances where we assign workers tasks without providing training on safe practices? Now the second question, does anyone have ideas for assuring that we follow manufacturer's instructions? And the last question, what can we do today to minimize or eliminate fall hazards? Now that we have had our discussions and brainstormed ideas, let's make a list of actions we can complete today or certainly no later than our next safety talk.